Hello guys, it's Kelvin again and I'm excited to be doing another video on my series on web development. This is Code by Moonlight and I would really need your support. Please subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, like and watch the video. So remember we discussed in the last time that we are going to be handling the front-end part of the project. And these are some of the technologies we've listed at, and today I promise we are going to be starting HTML5. So that's going to be the first on our list. So let's just do a quick recap. We have some technologies we are going to be learning. HTML5 is one of them. We are going to use it to structure the website. CSS, we used to add some styling. JavaScript to add some interactions. TypeScript, which is just an enhancement of JavaScript. And then we have like some CSS and JavaScript framework like Bootstrap that would help us in this journey. So ideally now we want to structure the website with HTML5. So let's go. So HTML5 is the standard markup language for creating web pages. Now, I would want you to know that web pages, they are just plain text. So we write code in our editor, plain text, and it's the browser's job to render the website for us. So these web pages are made up with HTML elements. So like I said, this HTML element tells the web browser how it should display the content. Now, this is the basic structure of an HTML element. It begins with a start tag. Then in between we have some content, and then it ends with an end tag. So we have like a start tag, which is this tag name enclosed in angle brackets. We have some content, and then we have an end tag. The end tag looks like the start tag, but with a slight modification. You see, after the opening angle bracket, it has like a forward slash. That's just to denote that, oh, this is an end tag. Now, these are some things you need to know about HTML element. I just selected out these two. We'll see more as we go. Now, some elements, they don't have contents. This kind of element, we call them empty elements. Empty elements do not have an end tag. The best way to learn is to code along with me. So guys, we are at the desktop now. To work on this, let's just open up our Visual Studio Code. Open. Let's give this full screen. And then we want to click on File. We want to create a new file. The shortcut is Ctrl+N. New file, and then we want to select a language. I want to just type in HTML. Great. Now we have a document. We want to save this document, so we'll click on Save File, Save. We are in our document folder. At this point, you want to choose a nice folder to keep all your files. So let's create a new folder. Code by Moonlight. Great. And inside this folder, I want to have another HTML folder. Great. And now in this place, we want to create our first file. So we could name this file whatever we want. Should be a valid file name. But ideally, when working with building a website, you always want to start from an entry point. It's very common to call the entry point of your website index. So just like this, right? And then we can click on save. Great. So now let's build out the structure of this HTML document. So we want to start with a very mandatory, it is very, very compulsory that we add a document type declaration. This just simply informs the browser that, hey, this is an HTML5 document. It enables the browser to render our content correctly. So for HTML, we usually use, for HTML5 especially, we usually use this tag HTML. Great. Now, we want to have the root element of our HTML page. This is usually where our HTML document begins from. It goes like this, HTML. And inside of this, we want to have a head tag. And then beneath that, we want to have a body tag. Great. So the relationship, HTML is the root. It has two child elements, head and body. The head and body, they are siblings. Let's start getting used to these terms. Great. Within the head tag, we could usually, what goes in the head tag are information, are meta informations that computers, web browsers would be needing. One of such is the title. Let's say this is our first web page. Great. This would usually be rendered on the browser's title bar, or if you're using tabs, the web page tab, you would usually see the title there. Now, the body tag is like our empty canvas for artists, like your drawing book, the part that would be visible on the web page. So we would usually be having a mismatch of tags in here, and this would be visible for our users to view. Great. Let's just throw in a tag. One of the such tag would be a heading tag. We'll just have an h1 heading 1. Let's just say this is a very important heading. Great. And beneath that, we would have a paragraph. So this is just some paragraphs. Great. Now, like I said, this HTML document usually have like a convention. We have the start tag, content, and end tag. In this case, we have the start tag, some contents, and end tag. We have the body tag, this is the start tag, we have the end tag, and then we have content between. And even up to this very heading, we have the H1, which is the start tag, we have the contents, and then we have the end tag. And notice how we have this forward slash before the end tag name. Great. So let's just save this and try to load it in the browser. Let's just make this a little bit smaller, Windows and the left arrow key. I'm just going to drag this. And now we want to go to our document, our file explorer. Click on Documents, Code by Moonlight, HTML. We should right click on this. Then we should say Open with Google Chrome. Great. And now we have it rendered. Notice how information that are most important, like the web browser I want to consume, goes in within the head tag. For example, we have this title here. Great. And then our heading and our paragraph is within this white canvas. Great. So remember, I told you about some tags that do not follow this convention. They don't have content, they don't have an end tag. The ones we called empty tags. Why would we want some of these tags? Let's take a very interesting tag, a BR tag. BR, just, no, not you. BR, great. Why would we need such a tag? Let me explain. So ideally without tags, if we just keep typing in a bunch of text, let's say this is paragraph 1, this is paragraph 2, this is paragraph 3, great, and save this. Go to the browser and reload this. We are shocked. We don't have paragraphs, but yes, we were using the enter key. So let me just shock you some more and type in some bunch of spaces, enter. Great. Now let's go and expect the magic to happen. Reload. We still have this one line. Great. Right click and reload. We still have it in one line. Great. Now, without this tag, the web browser will just keep rendering every content you put in from left to right. You just keep rendering, and no matter the amount of space you have between, say, text, it will just pick one. So we have just one space. It's ignoring everything. So we could use a very special tag like the BRO tag to apply a line break. Great. And now you see we have a line break there. Another of such tag we could want to use is the horizontal row and HR tag. Great. This will break and then add a line. So beautiful. So these are some of the tags that are empty tags. They don't have content, if you notice. They just have a start tag. Now, the role of the web browser is to read our HTML document, make sense out of these tags, and display it correctly. You can see how it understands that, oh, this should be big, this is an heading. And we'll be following HTML5 standard. Now, let's reinforce this. All HTML document must begin with a doc type declaration. But the document itself starts with the HTML tag. This doc type represents the document type, and it should be there to help the browser render our HTML document correctly. It should at least appear at the top of your page and just once. So we need this just at the top of the page and one of it. Talking about headings can run from 1 to 6. So let's say headings section. No, I don't want that kind of section. This section. By the way, section is also a tag. Then I want a horizontal row here. Let's see. Heading 1. Great. Copy this. Let's change this to heading 2. Great. Notes to change it. Be sure the end tag matches the start tag. Let's have this as heading 3, 2, 3. Let's do some more. Okay, we need one more. I'm just gonna change this to 4, 5, 6. 4. My spelling. Okay, great. 5, 6. Great. So let's see this on the browser. Great. Notice how the one is bigger. It's the most important heading, and heading 6 is the least important heading. We could be needing a mix and match of both. For example, let's say we have like a mid heading and then like a subheading. We could use 2 of those. We define paragraphs by using the p tag. This is just the paragraph. Let's have some more paragraphs. You could type in some more text. Lazy. I'm just going to copy this. Copy this. Why am I even doing this? If we need a bunch of text just for play, in VS Code we could actually say lorem, L-E-O-R-E-M, enter, and it gives us a bunch of dummy tests. Great. Now we have some paragraphs. Let's have another paragraph. P. Let's say lorem. We could say we want 1,000 of those. Great. That's much. I'm going to undo that. Ctrl Z. Let's say we just need 100. 200. Okay. That's still too much. 100. No, this is not. Okay, 100 of such lorry. Great, 5 of such lorry. Man, it's good. So we have another paragraph. Great, it's nice to learn. So we have some more paragraphs, right? We would also, it's not uncommon to also want to like see images on the page. So let's have another H arrow here. So to get an image on the page, let's just type in the image tag. It's an empty tag. So type this in correctly. Great. Enter. And let's reload our page. We don't have an image. I'm just going to take this out. And then reload. We don't have an image. It appears that we need to supply where this image is going to be coming from. So let's just go and say image of a dog. Okay, great. We could right click, open image in new tab. Great. Could have this, could copy that. And then now we could come here and say src. Great. Let's first see this in the browser. Now we have a cute little dog. So some of these tags, they usually contain attributes. Attributes are used to supplying additional information. Now in this case, for an image tag, we need to supply the source. And that's why we are specifying the source attribute. So usually attributes are in this format. We have the name of the attribute, we have an equal to sign, and then we have the value, usually in double quotation marks. So this for image would be the link of the image, where the image is located. Now we have it. We could specify more attributes. We could say, let's say we want a width of say 400, and then height of 400. Let's see. We've skewed this image. I'm just going to specify a width and let it figure out the height. Great, I don't want to spoil it. Great, so now we can preserve the aspect ratio. Nice. So this is how we are going to be structuring our website. We have some bunch of tags. We can specify attributes. We can have it in different formats. So, great. Now, have you ever seen a beautiful website and you are wondering, how does this page look like? What is the HTML document behind it? So let's see how we could do this in the browser. We could interact with the browser. Now, when we right click on this, we could say view page source. And this would just show us the HTML document we've written to arrive at this beautiful page. Now, I told you the work of the web browser is to display this page correctly. So it doesn't really display the tags, except we want to see that, we want it to do so. It uses these tags to display the HTML page. Great. Now we could see how we have the body tag, we have the headings, we have the paragraphs, we have the images. We could see this just like we have it in the editor. Beautiful. Another way we could see this and also interact with it is to right click on this and say inspect. Great. Now we have this inspection panel, and then the first thing we see here is elements. And if you notice, we have just everything we've defined in our code. Now the beautiful part of this is we can inspect an element. So let's notice how we have this animation going around it. Or if we want to select on the page, we could, let's say, click on this, select 2 here, and then click on this image, and that would take us right into this image tag. Why is this important? We want to just maybe make some very fast changes on the fly to our page and see how it would look like, right? So let's say, for example, we want to delete this H4 tag. We could do that. And now we don't have an H4 anymore. We could do this. Let's just delete this. Okay, great. We could even double click on this and modify it and say this heading. And when we go out of it, we see that change is reflecting. But this is just to interact with on the fly while we are developing. Maybe we want to make some fast changes we don't necessarily need to go back to the code, but that doesn't change the real code of the website. So you'd imagine you could go to Google and just inspect and change it doesn't work like that. It's illusion. It's for your own consumption. Great. So some things to know about these tags is these tags, they are not case sensitive. So we could say H1 and it would still work correctly. Great, we reload and I told you we lost the changes we made on the fly. Great, just going to close this. But the W3 consortium, the World Wide Web Consortium, the people in charge of specifying the documentation for HTML, I strongly recommend that we use lowercase for naming tags. Yeah, just because this is a very unique tag, we begin with an uppercase. Right? This is convention. We should try as much as possible to follow these conventions that are specific to a language whenever we encounter them. That way we don't feel odd when we are with other developers, right? Great. So this is all about the structure of an HTML document. Our next video will go in depth to talk about each and every one of these elements. We would cover a whole lot of them, and this will be in our arsenal, this will be in our toolbox to build to structure out any type of website we want in the future. Great. So going forward, we'll be taking on these tags and be explaining them in details, right? So if you are new to this channel, I would recommend you to watch the previous videos so you don't miss out. There's a video I have at the top. You could see how to download these tools, the Visual Studio Code for the code editing and the browser. Great. I also give an introduction on the technologies we are going to be covering on the front end. You can also see that in the top right corner. I would strongly recommend you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and click on the notification bell so you get notified when new videos arrive in the series. Once again, thank you so much. My name is Kelvin, and it's Code by Moonlight.